About that time, looks like it's 7:12, and several satirical bills are being introduced into state legislature, and they're targeting men. The bills are trying to draw attention to laws that target women, so this new proposed bill is called the Man's Right to Know Act. It would require men to wait 24 hours after an initial doctor's visit before they can get a vasectomy or even a prescription for Viagra. The law mirrors another Texas law that requires women to wait 24 hours before they have an abortion. The bill would also fine a man $100 each time he makes a masturbatory emission. State Representative Jessica Farrar of Houston proposed the Man's Right to Know Act and says she is just trying to get people to think. And she's certainly got a lot of folks talking. The Man's Right to Know bill is very similar to one introduced in Kentucky last year that would require men to get his wife's permission for Viagra. So what is the effect of these bills? Here to discuss this half hour, we want to hear from you as well on Facebook and Twitter, so we encourage you to go there and chime in. Joining us now is our Fox 26 senior legal analyst, Chris Tritica. We got Democratic media consultant Mustafa Tamiz, and our Republican strategist and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. Good morning to you.
Good morning. So look, these bills are designed to really come at the abortion issue in another way, come at it on the backside. And that's really what this is all about. The Republican-dominated legislatures across the country, we just spent the last hour talking about this, Republican-dominated legislatures across the country have been coming at abortion for 40 years. And now you've got Democratic legislatures filing these bills saying this is silly, the way we attack women and say this is women's health when it's not. That's what Jessica Farrar is trying to say.
Equal time, right? I mean, look, this sounds very trivial, sounds like it's something to make fun of, but it is a moment to pause and look at something like this. We've been doing this for decades, legislating things that take women's freedoms away. And so about time somebody put it on the other shoe.
Is she making a point?
Well, I think a lot of Democrats are so angry that Trump is in our administration, and that I'm sure she's angry she's in the minority. But the real point that needs to be made is that a majority of women in Texas are pro-life. And our legislators are looking at the health of women, especially when it comes to abortion, because that's a majority of the way their constituents feel. So the fact that we say that if you perform an abortion, surgical centers have to be a certain standard, or doctors have to have certain credentials.
Well, that was struck down.
That is actually helping. That is actually helping the health of a woman. That is not against women. That is actually helping women. So a lot of Democrats and liberals may be angry that our Republican and conservative leaders are looking at these types of bills, but that's what a majority of us want in Texas.
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court disagreed with that, but is Jessica Farrar making a point about the bills, the way they only approach women and only approach women in a certain
I think the point she's making is the fact that most Democrats right now, it is their way of not wanting to do their job. And so the fact that she's bringing up a satirical bill should tell all of her voters she doesn't want to do her job.
Real quick.
Look, you know, years ago there was a panel of men sitting in front of Congress testifying on women's health issue. Men have been doing this. It's not just about President Trump. This has happened for decades.
Was that the Republican Congress?
It was a Republican Congress, and this has been happening for decades. It's not just about President Trump. All life doesn't revolve around President Trump, regardless of what people think.
Let me go to Rita. She's monitoring our social media.
Well, I'll tell you, at this hour, people are calling Jessica Farrar a pure genius for this whole thing because she's gotten global press. So let's take a look at social media right now. We'll start off with this one from FJet, who says just that. Our Jessica Farrar is getting global press for this sheer act of genius. And I have to be honest, a lot of the tweets I'm finding are just like this one from Tweetmere, who says, bravo. And they've tweeted her. Meerkat says, gentlemen, pay attention. And then how about this one from Oak Forest, who says, go Jessica Farrar. So we are seeing a few of the other ones, Chris. I want to make sure we share both sides, but the truth is we can't share them because they're not G-rated.
The other one that the other bill from Kentucky, I think it was, that said that you have to have your wife's permission to get the Viagra might actually have a chance of passing somewhere. But the point she's trying to make, I think, is a valid point, that you really ought to be paying attention to what you're doing when you're only targeting women's issues in a certain way without paying attention to what the woman might want.
And you know, Jessica Farrar has every right to make her point. However, I would I would have preferred that instead of wasting her time in the legislature, she should be passing bills that are truly meaningful for her constituents instead of trying to get global or national attention by being satirical.
Well, no politician's ever done that before, have they?
Well, look, the legislature has passed these bills that get knocked down by the Supreme Court every single time. They're not just wasting our time, but they're wasting our money by passing these bills because we have to go defend it in the legal framework. And so consistently it's said that this is what the voters want. Well, what the voters want is solutions to Texas problems, not this kind of litigation.
We're going to leave it right there, but we might continue to talk about this on Facebook Live. So go to the Fox 26 webpage right now. You can join us on Facebook Live, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes with another really good topic.
Yep. And we'll be sure to share your comments. Thanks, guys.